Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to my Sunday live news stream where I've got some geeky news stories for us to have a look at. But before we do that, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. I'm live on YouTube. Let's check and make sure. Yep, I'm live on YouTube. I should be live on Rumble. I wish it had just come on automatically. You've got to bloody refresh it and everything. Right, yes, we're live on Rumble, and fingers crossed, we're live on X. Yes, we're live on X. Yes, we are. Right, so there we go. You can also find me on Facebook, not live, and Instagram. Links are in the description, as are links to my two books. They're down there. They're underneath something. There we go. Me two books, Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village. It's all a bit of fun. And Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and alien invasions and abductions and stuff, all that malarkey. They're on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. It's just a bit of fun. Give them a whirl, and Sci-Fi Quest is here already. Hi, pal. Saw your videos earlier on today. Cool! Go subscribe to Sci-Fi Quest. Does some great content. Right. News. Let's have a look. I make myself titchy tiny. Have I forgot anything? I can't remember. I know I forgot to brush my teeth. I did forget that. I'm going to brush my teeth and I forgot. But what the heck? Right. So let's get this news up. Okie dokie. Right. Let me do that. And here we go. Right. We're off. We're off and running. I'm sure I forgot something. I can't remember what. Otherwise, I wouldn't have forgot it, would I? Idiot. Anyway. Here we go. It's from Variety. Valerie Wu. John Wick director wants to take a swing at making a Star Wars film. I have a couple of takes, he says. And there he is. And there Luke and Yoda. My lightsaber, that is not. Anyway, John Wick director Chad Stahelski says he wants to take a swing at making a Star Wars film. In a recent interview with Happy Sad Confused host Josh Horowitz, the action thriller director opened up about a potential franchise he wants to be a part of in the future, bringing up the sci-fi favourite. There's been a few people recently, aren't they, saying they want to do a Star Wars film? But I don't think they will, not as long as Kathleen Kennedy's in charge. Essentially, look at him. He's too male, he's too white, and he's probably too old for a... Anyway... I'm a Star Wars guy. Like the first Star Wars changed my life, and mine as well, said Stahelski. Maybe someday out there, Disney, if you're listening, hit me in a couple of years and I have a couple of takes for Star Wars. They won't. They won't. Did you hear about Ncuti, Gatwa and Millie Gibson are leaving Doctor Who after filming season 2? Well, that's the suggestion, isn't it? Yes, I was going to add it to the thing. I noticed Mr. H did the video about it, didn't he? And so I looked it up, and I've actually covered it. I don't know, about a week ago, maybe last week sometime, about or maybe before that, noting that Ncuti Gatwa says he didn't know what he was doing after 2 seasons of Doctor Who. So, is he they've just contracted for 2 seasons, or is there going to be more? I don't know. And they don't seem to know either, do they? So anyway, we will see what happens. We'll see if there's any developments in that department. Where were we? If you're listening to me, hit me in a couple of years, said Chad Stahelski. And I have a couple of takes for Star Wars. I think Zack Snyder had a take for Star Wars, didn't he? And got shown the door. I'd take a swing at that. I challenge you. Oh, that's a great start, isn't it? You don't want to be challenging Kathleen Kennedy. She'll just ignore you. See if Disney could survive me, he added. There's no chance. That, however, is an idea for the future. During the interview, Stahelski brought up a project that he is right now in the works. We're currently trying to develop a John Wick TV series. Tell it's getting everywhere. And it was a dumb one, haven't they? The Continental, which I really liked, for the most part. And Lionsgate has been very cool about backing us. We just started getting into the nitty-gritty when the strikes all happened. Hopefully, maybe in this TV series, we can bring back some of the people we love. Sorry, Sci-Fi Quest. Must be just a 2-season contract. Yeah. Yep. We'll see if they do any more. But they seem to be suggesting, I'm sort of going off topic from Star Wars, but they seem to be suggesting that they're going to do other things. Didn't Ncuti say we're looking forward to going back to theatre after these 2 seasons of Doctor Who? And Millie Gibson said she were auditioning for other roles. I should have just done that story, shouldn't I? Never mind. Maybe I'll add it later and we'll do it properly. Where were we? John Wick Chapter 4 ended ambiguously with little confirmation as to whether or not John Wick, Keanu Reeves, was dead, raising questions. I've forgotten. I've seen it, John Wick 4, and I forgot how it ended. Raising questions as to whether or not there would be a follow-up installment. Regarding that ending, Stahelski expressed that he and Reeves always had the titular character's death in mind early on. Keanu and I have been trying to kill off John Wick since the second one, Stahelski said. Well, stop wearing them suits then that are impregnable. Oh, excuse me. We just figured there's no way out for this guy. Like, if we really stay hard-boiled and we really stay with our fate and our consequence, all our mantra here, you can't, there's no happy ending. Okay, whatever. That's not about Star Wars, is it? So he wants to do a Star Wars film. There's no chance. As I've said, he's too male, he's too white, he's too grey. There's no chance. No chance. Right. Let's move on. I'll dig up that we'll do that Doctor Who story, shall we? I'll do that. It's in my history, so just bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. There we go. So I'll bring this all the way forward. We'll stick a Doctor Who story in the middle of the Star Wars stories. Right, we'll do this one. As I said, I covered this kind of a couple of weeks ago, so, maybe it was a scoop. I'm not going to say. But we'll do it again. Right. So here we go. Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa. Thanks to Sci-Fi Quest for bringing this up. I was going to add it, and then I thought I can't be bothered. But, he's forced me hand as the man. Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson already exiting series. This is from Cosmic Book News, Matt McGloin. Cool name. Good Irish name, I think. That, isn't it? Recent interviews with the actors suggest their future after 2025 may be in doubt. To be honest, I don't care. Because that Christmas special was bloody awful. Anyway, after only one episode having been released, new Doctor Ncuti Gatwa and companion Millie Gibson, who actually I do think is kind of hot, but anyway, are already speculated to be exiting the series. The pair are currently filming a second season set to be released in 2025, but in recent interviews, they have cast doubt on their future in the series. Sorry, I got a sniffle then. Have a drink. I'm boozing, by the way, in my there it is. In my new glass that's got the Queen logo on. You can't really see it, can you? The band Queen. That my mate got me for Christmas. So I'm having some booze. And I don't care. Where were we? I forgot where we were now. The pair are currently, I think I've read that, haven't I? I'll try again, whatever. The pair are currently filming a second season set to be released in 2025, but in recent interviews, they have cast doubt on their future in the series. I think I just read that, haven't I? They still haven't released the updated numbers yet, neither. Yeah, it's still on the, is it like the overnights or whatever? Something like that, isn't it? Which is telling, isn't it? That's telling that maybe not a lot of people watched it, or not as many as they wanted to. They must be in the midst of fluffing the figures up a bit. Probably. Worth a note is the recent Christmas special debuting Ncuti Gatwa as Doctor Who and Millie Gibson as the new companion has suffered the worst ratings for a Christmas special in the series. Where does that take us? I'll just do another story. The 3 previous specials featuring David Tennant are also among the worst rated episodes in the actor's career. Not just in his Doctor, but in the actor's career. Don't know why I said it like that. It's also known the specials apparently didn't do well on Disney Plus, as the first 2 episodes didn't make it onto the Nielsen ratings charts. What, at all? I don't know how far down the Nielsen ratings go. Is it like top 100, top 75, top 50, top 10? I don't know. Samba TV also didn't report any numbers, likely at the request of Disney, and Disney Plus also didn't release a press release about the ratings as they have for Percy Jackson, Ahsoka, and Loki Season 2. Again, that doesn't bode well, does it? There he is. That ring's going to fall off his finger, and it don't look very. It's got a thumb ring. All right, that's it. Cancelled. Deleting the iPlayer. Bloody thumb ring. Regarding the potential departure of Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson, or sorry, Meal Gibson, the speculation arises from the Doctor Who TV site, which offers their future after 2025 looks doubtful. My phone's pinging. Somebody's sending me messages. Who is it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Who's sending me a message? It's Marie. Hello, Marie. She's not watching. She's sending me messages on Facebook. Just watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I'm sorry, I'm sharing private messages here. Was well good. Watched Equalizer 3 last night too. Also good. Yes, they are. They're great films. And it's sad that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, did really badly at the box office. Supposed to be one of the big hits, wasn't it, of the summer, late summer, and it didn't do well. And it was a good film. I enjoyed it. Anyway, where were we? I forgot where we were now. As noted, it's up to Ian. As noted, all the recent Doctors have made it through at least 3 seasons, except for Christopher Eccleston. So Ncuti Gatwa and Mill, what can they keep spelling their name? Mill Gibson. Are they just copying and pasting it? Could be done after only 2 seasons. It's not saying a name. I can't sing a name, can I? Do it at the end. It's pointed out that Ncuti Gatwa spoke with Rolling Stone UK in early 2023 and expressed a desire to return to theatre. Theatre kept me warm, spelt it wrong, Americans. Theatre kept me warm and it held me all night, even if I was broke. But I'm planning on getting back to it in 2024 after I finish season 2 of Doctor Who, he said. So he's going to have some time on his hands, isn't he? By the looks of it. Ncuti Gatwa also spoke with the Radio Times last month and said he had no idea what he is doing after filming Doctor Who season 2, which I think is the story that I covered. So last month, like last week. I have no idea. Time flows differently for me. Anyway, which may suggest he signed on for only 2 seasons. No idea, no plan. I just know that I'm loving it and my love for it is growing, he said. And there's Millie Gibson. Regarding Millie Gibson, spelled her name right that time, she told Fabric magazine that now the strikes are over, she's going to audition for other roles. I think now that the strike's over, I'll probably be auditioning again for parts and seeing what's out there, she said. Gibson continues with mention of change, wanting to play a different role that she's currently playing and being excited for what is to come. Every year has seen such change for me. It's hard to think what might come next. I'd like to play a villain. If not that, I think I'm really intrigued by biopic roles, or as some people pronounce it, biopic, that you would really need to research. I think that would be a great challenge. I don't know. I'm just excited to see what's to come, she said. And of course, she plays the Doctor's assistant, Ruby Sunday. Got to sing it. Right. Sci-Fi Quest says, no more Ruby Sunday. No. I bet they didn't put the character's name in this, because every time they did it, every time they typed, I bet he sang it, did Matt. I bet he did. I bet he couldn't help himself. So there we go. So that's that story. As I said, they don't know what they're doing. That don't mean they're not coming back, for more. But it's just odd that there seems to be this end of season 2 cut-off where they seem to have time on their hands. So I don't know what's happening. Nobody seems to know. Maybe there'll be some announcements this year. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Right, that's that out of the way. What's next? Oh, back to Star Wars now. Talk about Star Wars, which is what we're going to do. Right, this next one. Right, so this is from the direct. Who's written this one? Savannah Sanders. Savannah. I bet it's a she as well. I am presuming her gender. Sorry. I bet she's gorgeous. She got a link. I'm curious now. I want to see what Savannah Sanders looks like. With a name like Savannah, she's got to be, a bit of a looker, hasn't she? Yeah. Well, whatever. She's fine. She's got nice teeth. Put it that. Oh, I can't see, can you? Hang on. There we go. Oh, dear. This is Savannah. Look, there she is. She looks fine. She's a writer. Joined in 2020. She holds a Bachelor's of Arts in History from Southern Illinois University. Sorry, I'm being all stalkery now for Savannah Sanders, aren't I? Sorry, I was just curious. Pressed the wrong button. Never mind, there we go. Right, where were we? Hey, dear. Probably search Ruby Sunday and keep getting a porn star. More than likely, to be honest. More than likely. I get the feeling a slightly chubby one. But anyway, never mind. Right, this is from the director Savannah Sanders. Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie will include this one unsurprising character, reveals actor. I thought they were going to say Ahsoka. I did cheat. I don't usually read these stories. Right, I was intrigued and I just scrolled down to see who it was. And it's Ezra, the Ezra actor. A Star Wars star has revealed their character will have a strong presence in Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie, if it happens, and it's exactly who fans predicted. Lucasfilm first announced Dave Filoni's Mandalorian crossover movie at Star Wars Celebration 2023, describing the future film as a culmination of Filoni and Jon Favreau's Disney Plus Mandoverse. Careful, her, them will call you a bigot. Yeah, probably. Probably. Did you assume my gender? Yes. And I got it right because you were described as she in the bio. Anyway, the news was followed by Ahsoka's debut, which brought several of Filoni's Star Wars Rebels characters into live action, including Sabine Wren, Hera Syndulla, Thrawn, and Ezra Bridger. This kind of suggests, though, doesn't it, that because he had to bring all these characters that he's already done, he's got nothing new in him as Dave Filoni. He's spent. It were all done in Clone Wars and Rebels. Now he's spent and he can't think of anything new. Many fans viewed the streaming series as a stepping stone to the big screen crossover, and now one Ahsoka star just confirmed those suspicions as well as their unsurprising role. There he is. I forgot his name already. Emanis Fandi. There we go. With Ahsoka. You remember he was in another galaxy. They went looking for him in another galaxy and then found him after about 5 minutes. Literally. But yet, Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn, the most dangerous Imperial officer ever, couldn't find him in 10 years. In talking with The Hollywood Reporter, Ahsoka's Emanis Fandi claimed Ezra Bridger plays a pivotal role in upcoming Star Wars storytelling, including a possible Ahsoka Season 2. Possible Ahsoka Season 2. There's rumours, isn't there? Is that one of my stories? It could be one of my stories. Yes, it is. That there may not be a Season 2. We will see. And Dave Filoni's film, including a potential Season 2 and the film, I think I'll be very involved, he said. From everything I've learned about Star Wars and what's canon at the moment and the way Dave and everyone seems to be writing and moving forward, I think Ezra plays a very pivotal role, which is exciting. First introduced in Rebels, Ezra Bridger was a Force-sensitive orphan from Lothal who joined the Rebels' Ghost crew and was trained by Jedi Kanan Jarrus, former Padawan. Would he be classed as a Jedi? I don't know. I didn't pass it. I suppose so. I don't know. Well, Thrawn is a blue straight man. That's true. Blue straight man. Do we know he's straight? Don't know. Anyway, Ezra's act of sacrifice in the Rebels finale led to the mystery of his and Grand Admiral Thrawn's mysterious disappearance. But in Ahsoka Episode 6, Sabine finally found Ezra with Emanis Fandi, bringing the character into live action for the first time. Yes, she just, threatened the safety of an entire galaxy just so she could see her friend again. Sheer effing hubris. While the 29-year-old actor has been attached to the role since September 2022, Ahsoka was his first major TV role and one of his biggest credits, along with a supporting role in the Oscar-winning King Richard. While he understandably wants to keep playing Ezra for personal and professional reasons, he also expressed that more of the character feels correct for the story. Quote, as a human, because that's all we know. Because that's you're like, I get to act, I get to do the thing that I like. I'll have a job, but story-wise, it feels correct. It feels like, yeah, they should use him. He'd be a really good person to use for this or for that. Whatever. As for whether Esfandi's tenure extends beyond Filoni's film, he admitted, I actually don't know, but doesn't feel he would ever need more. Right, so he's basically he's ready to be done with the character already. Yes, and what an amazing reunion it was too. Yes, they kind of just like, hi, hello. Anyway, that's what it was like, wasn't it? But they did hug eventually. Kind of awkwardly though. Zero chemistry, which is kind of like me with women anyway. Anyway, after the announced movie and the potential Ahsoka season 2, I actually don't know. I don't know if there's anywhere else Ezra could live across the universe. Maybe he sacrifices himself again in the movie, and then he is done for. I don't know. If I do a second season, I'll be happy. If I do a second season, I'll be happy. If we also do a movie, I'll be so happy. And I would never need more than that. I'm like Harrison Ford in that way. Well, no, Harrison Ford just doesn't care, does he? He said it, hasn't he? I don't care. That's my impression of Harrison Ford, sorry. I'm like Harrison Ford in that way, where I don't need Ezra's story to just live forever. I'd rather his story be concluded in the most appropriate way for his character. So if it ends at the movie, I'll wash my hands and thank God and move on. It was such an emotional reunion. I cried and couldn't stop. I suggest there's a bit of sarcasm going on there from Sci-Fi Quest. Oh, dear. I forgot where I was now. But despite not knowing his character's fate or his own future intentions, once again, Esfandi is confident Ezra will have a very strong presence in an Ahsoka season 2 and the Mandalorian crossover movie if they happen. I also don't know how I'd feel after doing a potential season 2 and a movie. I don't know if I'll be like, I want to keep doing Ezra. And if that's the case, then maybe I do. I just won't know yet until I get there. But for these next installments, I will have a very strong presence in those if they happen. What else have we got? Since Ahsoka ended with Ezra Bridger, how long is this article? Oh, it's nearly done. Since Ahsoka ended with Ezra Bridger returning to the Star Wars galaxy, Eman Esfandi's role in the possible season 2 and Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie is no surprise. Reports of Thrawn being the crossover film's big bad practically confirmed as much, since the two are due for a rematch. What is surprising is Esfandi's confidence in the direction of Filoni's story, coupled with the disclaimer of if they happen. Whether this is due to Lucasfilm's long-standing trend of announcing projects and then cancelling them is unknown. Fans have other questions surrounding Ezra's live-action future, like whether he will train Kanan's son Jason, just as Jason's father trained him. When he will cross paths when he will cross paths with the Mandalorian's force-sensitive Grogu. There's also the question of whether God, I hate that thing. There's also the question of whether Luke Skywalker will return in an Ahsoka season 2 or a Mandalorian crossover, allowing fans to see the two Jedi Knights team up against Thrawn. Despite fans having more questions than answers, Eman Esfandi's confidence in his big screen role is reassuring and could mean further details about the film are on the way. So there we go. They don't know what he's doing. Much like Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa don't know what they're doing in Doctor Who, Eman Esfandi doesn't know what he's doing with Star Wars. So there we go. Hey dear. But Sci-Fi Quest says, so a shuttle that was involved in an attack on a Republic ship is allowed to land, and a stormtrooper is allowed to exit the shuttle without getting shot. Yeah, allowed to land and just came out in his stormtrooper gear. Why did he have his stormtrooper gear on? Dunno. He just did. Then he took his all aiming the guns at him, and he took his helmet off. And they were all happy. Why didn't he take his stuff off? It's for dramatic effect, isn't it? That's what it is, for dramatic effect. It's not real life, I suppose you can argue. It's for drama, but it takes you out of it, doesn't it? I suppose. I hate it when people say that though. When they, oh, it took me out of the film. I thought, what are you talking about? It's film. You're not in it. Unless you're an actor. But you know, I've never watched a film thinking I'm in this film and I'm totally immersed. I know I'm watching a film. Anyway, never mind. Right, let's move on. Let's moveth-oneth. What's next? Oh, this is the story. Yes, this is the one. It's from Star Wars News Net. Hang on, I'll put it up. Sorry. Miguel Fernandez. Rosario Dawson teases Ahsoka Season 2 decision could be made soon. In a new interview with Entertainment Weekly's Dagobah Dispatch podcast, Rosario Dawson spoke at length about her experience on the Ahsoka Disney Plus series. Among several fun anecdotes from the set, she also confirmed that no movement on the second season had happened before the holidays when the interview was recorded. However, she teased that Lucasfilm might have been waiting for the new year to make a decision. She said the following: I'm grateful that we have the holidays to go into, even now with the strike over. So this is like, mid-December, I imagine. Even now with the strike over, there's no work to be done. Everyone is at the point of let's circle back to the end of the year kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because I need a moment to keep keep taking this all in and seeing the reaction before I think about jumping into it again, which I hope we get to. What's she talking about? Ahsoka's been out for ages. What's she on about? We're supposed to be having a dinner soon of the whole cast. I was very jealous of seeing everyone at some of these cons recently, which I wasn't able to be at. Why? Why weren't you able to be at them? You just couldn't be bothered. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. He didn't want to meet, the plebs. It's not exactly clear what she meant in her first statement. Was she told by Dave Filoni and co. that they would be waiting a few months before they start working on the season 2, if it happens at all? It's not the first time Rosario Dawson slips up when making a public statement that gets the fans excited, so let's temper our expectations for now. Remember when she reshared a story on Instagram that said Mina Masood would be playing Ezra, or when she said that Ahsoka would be coming out in the fall, or when she said that a revival of The Punisher was in the works, when it was just another internet rumour. If we've learned anything over the years at Star Wars Newsnet, is to never trust the actors. They're idiots, for the most part. Rosario Dawson, in particular, tends to get really excited and, opening a big fat gob. It was suspenseful, but with no suspense, because you always knew it was Ezra. Yes, it was going back to the Stormtrooper coming out with his helmet on. In Ahsoka. The interview goes on for another 20 minutes, in which she discussed working with Hayden Christensen again and being very happy for him to finally embrace his moment. She said, "We just had so much fun." Yeah, he made you look good, Rosario. When you were rubbish. She's not the best, at fight choreography, is she? She's a bit awkward, which is odd. You'd think she'd be quite good, wouldn't you? I'm sorry, because she does have, they're supposed to have rhythm out in, black people. I'm not making no bones. She's black, isn't she? So they're supposed to have rhythm out there. I'm sorry. That's what they're always saying. You'd think she'd be good at that sort of thing, but she wasn't. She was very awkward. Anyway, we just had so much fun. For a dig a hole for myself. Everyone in the crew made an excuse to be on set those days. It brought tears to all of our eyes. I love Haid. Is that it? Or have they just missed off the end accidentally? I don't know. He's such a wonderful man. I got to know him a little bit when we were younger. I saw a lot of that journey that he went through when he first became a part of the series, and to see the reception he got on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the opportunity he got, which was terrible, and the opportunity he got to be Anakin, but Sith Anakin, was wonderful. We only got to see him become Darth Vader, but we didn't get to see him sit for that a little bit. Hey? But it was nice to see him in the Clone Wars clothing. Oh, there it is. He's vaded. He's vaded. So they did learn from Rachel. Weird Ziegler. Yeah. Ziegler, whatever. Yeah. Weird. God. Look, he's vaded. Dawson also went on about how the series was just the culmination of years of build-up across many mediums with so many different people involved. All of that stuff for me as a fan, from bringing Thrawn from the books, not you know, they brought him in Rebels, didn't they? These characters from the animation and now Hayden from the films, it just brought all of the properties together in this incredible way, and I was just so happy for him that he got to express the fullness of his character, him being this teacher. See him be a masterful, or see him be masterful in that way. I'll learn to read. I don't know. I just loved it. I loved it for him. I texted him congratulations. That's how much she loved it. You know, she texted him. Unbelievable. The reaction that people got is so deserving. I know he had a much more challenging time originally, so it feels really beautiful that we got to this place where the appreciation and clarity are there of what the whole scope of this universe is and what it has to offer. I think it's so cool with Andor, which is good. I liked Andor, and the Acolyte coming. I don't care about the Acolyte. There are different textures of it that we can explore with lots of people, but the fact that it's still something that moves people so much in the way that it does is significant. What George Lucas created with these characters and this story is impactful for generations. So that's Rosario cancelled then from... she's written off. She's off Kathleen Kennedy's Christmas card list now, mentioning George Lucas. And that's so special, and his character is so pivotal to it. Check out the full interview in the link below. There it is. By the way, I forgot to mention, links for all these stories in the description, and later on I'll be putting timestamps in. And that's it. There it is. That's it. So there we go. There was another story that I can't remember where I saw it that kind of suggested. In this one, it's kind of optimistic, saying that the decision for season 2 could be made soon. And then there were another story saying it's downbeat. You know, she doesn't know if there's going to be a season 2. So I suppose it depends how you look at it. Glass half full, half empty sort of thing, I suppose. Sci-Fi Quest says, Acolyte, is that the one with no lightsabers or blasters? Sounds like amazing Star Wars. Yeah, it does. All these Jedi doing hand-to-hand combat. Like a kung fu film, isn't it? It's going to be crap, innit? The Acolyte. And we've all said it's going to be crap from the get-go. Maybe it'll surprise us and be even more crap than we can possibly imagine. Anyway, so we don't know if Ahsoka season 2 is coming. We don't know if Dave Filoni's film's coming. We don't know if Doctor Who season 3 series, what they call it, series 3, season 3, whatever, is coming. We don't know anything. So, you know, what's the point? 2024 is off to a great start. Press the wrong button. Hang on. Oh dear. There we go. Force Foo with bad dubbing. Yes, it will. It'd be funny, would that, wouldn't it? It'd be funny. Right. This really isn't news, but what the hell? This is from Looper. Sticking with Star Wars. Rick Stevenson. George Lucas banned one Star Wars actor from official events, but was it justified? Right. It's no secret. And there he is, looking happy. It's no secret that appearing in Star Wars isn't always a blessing for actors. Some, like Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Ewan McGregor, have earned widespread acclaim and adoration through their performances. But for others, it hasn't been such a positive experience. Jake Lloyd infamously received widespread harassment for his turn as Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace, despite being only 9 at the time of filming. That's not exactly true, is it? Not exactly true. Apparently, he got picked on at school, but you can't blame the fans for that, can you? But maybe he shouldn't have been shit. But anyway, Lloyd isn't the only one whose Star Wars role brought undue negativity. Are they going to mention? Yes, they are. Undue negativity and despicable treatment from audiences. It's a long list that includes Hayden Christensen. He was a bit wooden, wasn't he? Ahmed Best, Jar Jar Binks, say no more. Kelly Marie Tran, just a pointless character. Moses Ingram, who was just a terrible character. And John Boyega, who were an interesting character, but they just wasted him. So there we go. Typically, the worst of the scorn comes from the toxic epicenters of the Star Wars fandom. No, it doesn't. It comes from the media. Honestly, it does. In the case of the late David Prowse, the actor who portrayed Darth Vader on screen during the original trilogy, contempt came from Lucasfilm itself. Now this is this is pod racing, yeah. Tell you, it were awful, wasn't it? But then again, the film, I do like Phantom Menace, but you know, George can't direct actors to save his life, could it? Why did he decide to do them, all three of them himself? Doing Star Wars, the original one, it put him in hospital, didn't it? You know, the stress-related illnesses and stuff. And then he decided to do the prequel trilogy, all of them himself. Because he was the boss, wasn't he, by that time? He was the boss, and he could get away with a first draft script. Nobody dare say anything to him. Anyway. Prowse's fraught relationship with George Lucas was always complicated, to say the least. His role as the man in the suit hid him from viewers, making James Earl Jones the more recognisable Vader actor due to his iconic voice. A series of collisions with Lucas over the years and complaints of unfair treatment ultimately led to complete exclusion. In 2010, Prowse was banned from all official Star Wars fan events and conventions. Here's why. There he is, cooling down by a space fan. The feud between Dave Prowse and George Lucas can be traced back to the original Star Wars movie. During filming, Prowse delivered all of Darth Vader's lines himself. Have you heard it? It's terrible. You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away. Why are you overdubbing my lines, George? Oh, dear. In a 2016 interview with Film Fad, he admitted that he knew his dialogue would have to be dubbed over due to the constraints of the costume, but he assumed he would be the one to do it. Oh, God. With his, it sounds like a farmer, doesn't it? Looks like he's from Bristol or somewhere, isn't it? Natalie Portman was not the reason I watched Phantom Menace, honest. No, she wasn't the reason I watched it either, to be honest. I watched it because it said Star Wars. That's the reason I watched it. Where were we? In a 2016 interview with Film Fad, he admitted that he knew his doubt. I've just said that. Instead, Lucas chose to cast James Earl Jones, which Prowse attributed to the studio not wanting to pay to fly him out to America for recording. Or maybe they just didn't like your voice, Dave. You're a legend, but you haven't got, a terrifying voice, have you? Because you talk a bit like that, my love, don't you? Got that West Country accent. Oh, dear. There are many stories of Prowse and Lucas colliding after the first film was released. The actor mentioned the possibility of Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father at a 1978 fan event, which took place before the script for The Empire Strikes Back had been properly written. Prowse later claimed it was simply speculation, but rumours hold that Lucas was very upset at the suggestion. Probably because that's probably where George got the idea from, to be completely honest. Everyone knows the only reason you watched it was for Jar Jar. Yes, I love Jar Jar. Yes, love Jar Jar Binks. Me's are loving Jar Jar. I've done my own fan edit of Phantom Menace. It's on my computer somewhere. Where I call it de-Gunganized. I've taken all Jar Jar's out of it mostly, and all the Gungans are not in it either. So I'm Gunganist. And it's a decent film. It lasts about an hour and 20 minutes, taking out all the annoying bits and stuff. Lots of Rogers I've edited out and all that. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes, or maybe a little bit longer. Call it an hour and a half. And it's a tighter film for that. Anyway, where were we? Perhaps not coincidentally, Prowse didn't show his face in Return of the Jedi in the scene where Luke removes Vader's helmet. Instead, Sebastian Shaw, not the baddie from X-Men First Class, played by Kevin Bacon, the actual Sebastian Shaw, portrayed the dying Anakin Skywalker. In an interview with Rockseller magazine, Prowse said this was because Shaw was a friend of Alec Guinness and needed work at the time, so the casting was essentially a favour. Still, some have theorised that Lucas had more vindictive intentions. And maybe they wanted an actor who didn't sound like he'd just been driving a tractor. I'm sorry, Dave, but we all love you, but didn't want him doing his lines in like what were his lines now? Tell your sister you were right. That's how we'd say it, wouldn't it? It would be good. Tell your sister you were right. You were right, me duck. That's how we'd be delivering it, wouldn't it? Dave Prowse continued to speak his truth. By the way, I'm not knocking. Dave, an amazing guy, and I met him a couple of times at conventions. He's a lovely fella. Very proud of his gong that he got off the Queen. Well, it's CBE or something like that. His honours that he got. He was very proud of that. Bless him. And he's not with us anymore, so that's sad. And he was the Green Cross Code man, and he was Frankenstein's monster as well, a couple of times. Who else was he? He did other things as well, didn't he? Dave Prowse continued to speak his truth about Star Wars for years after Return of the Jedi. He repeatedly stated that he never received any royalties from the film due to it not turning a profit, according to Lucasfilm. That's common Hollywood, a common Hollywood thing. Apparently, the Lord of the Rings films have never made a profit. Peter Jackson had to sue Warner Brothers, didn't he? Or the other New Line. One or the other. Anyway, despite the movie grossing nearly $500 million on a budget of just $32 million, this discrepancy is due to some tricky financial sleight of hand, often employed by studios, which drove another wedge between Prowse and Lucas. Prowse's ban from Lucasfilm events in 2010 was the culmination of decades of tension. Still, it's hard to see it as justified. As reported at the time by the AV Club, Prowse revealed the ban in a post on his official website. He said that he was unclear of the exact reason and that Lucasfilm told him he had burned too many bridges. At a point when fan sentiment was largely anti-Lucas, due to dislike for the prequel trilogy, Prowse's exclusion was another arrow in the quiver fans built against the filmmaker. These days, Disney has become the target of that ire, and Lucas has returned to a much more widely esteemed place in the fandom. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it? Familiarity breeds contempt, and absence makes the heart grow fonder. Were they confusing Lord of the Rings with the Rings of Power? I don't know, but apparently Lord of the Rings never made money. Apparently. I forgot where we were now. However, this treatment of Prowse remains eyebrow-raising, and the core issue isn't gone from Star Wars, with Pedro Pascal barely showing up on set for The Mandalorian these days. I don't think he ever showed up on set for Season 3. The question of proper credit for the actors behind the masks is arguably more relevant than ever. So there we go. We're on to another story there. So there we go. But yes, like I say, I'm not knocking David Prowse because, like I say, he's amazing. I've got an autograph, his autograph there, on a poster. You can't see it, can you? Maybe you see the edge of it. It's the edge of it there. Hang on. Let me turn my light onto it. See if you can see it. There it is. I can't see it for the bloody camera. Where are we? There we go. Up on the wall there. Where are we? Where am I? There. There we go. There. Oh, I'm rubbish at this. It's got Dave Prowse's autograph on it. It says Darth Vader, Dave Prowse, and his squiggles up there at the top. Anyway, so there we go. I've actually got his autograph about 3 times, to be honest. And there we go. Now then. Where are we? Yes, I've got tubes there. They're there to stop the cat going down the back of the telly, which she's wont to do because she's naughty. Right, where were we? Turn that back. Sci-Fi Quest says the Bo-Katan show. Yes, that's Mandalorian season 3, isn't it? Yes, like Ahsoka being the Sabine Wren show. Yes, it was. It was more about her than Ahsoka, wasn't it? Unbelievable. It is unbelievable what they've done to Star Wars. The Mandalorian started off well. The first 2 seasons were fine. But it's just gone downhill, hasn't it? It's because it's all about the message rather than being about telling good Star Wars stories. But anyway, right, let's move on. Right. See if you can guess what next story is about. Another clue. Diddly 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 diddly. Don't you love the Star Wars continuity these days? It's all over the place, isn't it? All over the place. Anyway. Right, next up. From Deadline, Nelly Andreeva. Battlestar Galactica, Derek Simonds set as new. It's like a assistant director or something from the 70s, somebody that worked on Space 1999 or something like that, doesn't it? Anyway, never mind. Derek Simonds set as new showrunner of Peacock Reboot in works from producer Sam Esmail. There we go. Is that Sam Esmail? Is that Derek Simonds? Or is that Sam Esmail? Is that Derek? I don't know. But that's Apollo, Adama, and Starbuck, and a Cylon. And a Viper shooting at a Cylon raider. Anyway, and he's about to put his hand on a big giant Van de Graaff generator. Anyway, 8, exclusive, apparently. There's a new writer at the helm of Peacock's long-gestating reboot of the popular sci-fi franchise Battlestar Galactica. The Sinner creator, Derek Simonds, has come on board as writer, executive producer, and showrunner. I thought Sam Esmail was the showrunner. Whatever. Battlestar Galactica, which remains in development at Peacock, has been a passion project for Mr. Robot creator Sam Esmail, a big fan of the original, whose company, Esmail Corp, is producing the reboot through UCP, where the company is based. What's UCP? No idea. First announced as being in development at NBC Universal's streamer Peacock in 2019, the Battlestar Galactica reimagining, another one, previously had Michael Leslie attached to write and executive produce. Sci-Fi was, I recognise this article. Yeah, I think you did it, didn't you, earlier on? But it's been there for a while for me. I think I did put this there yesterday, I think, probably. I don't know. Anyway, I forgot what I want now. A new take on the classic IP, the latest incarnation, is executive produced by Simonds, as well as Esmail Cause, Sam Esmail, and Chad Hamilton. UCP, a division of Universal Studio Group, is the studio. We are working on it. Esmail told Deadline in October about the Battlestar Galactica series reboot, and in fact, I just read a great outline, and it's in great shape. Because the strike is over now, at least the WGA strike is over, this is in October, remember, we're back into developing it. The original Battlestar Galactica centered on the last group of humans on the verge of extinction after a series of wars with a robot race. Not really. I don't know. It was like a surprise attack, like a Pearl Harbor sort of thing going on, wasn't it? That's what happened. They were kind of at war. Yeah, I suppose so. That constant war with the Cylons. But I think it was supposed to be like a Cold War, wasn't it? But anyway. The Cylons destroyed the 12 colonies. All the humans are left in one remaining battleship group. Why'd they say that? Anchored by the Galactica. It's not a battleship group. It's a ragtag fugitive fleet with the Galactica at the forefront, isn't it? Protecting them. Anyway, anchored by the Galactica as they search for their last option for survival, a fabled 13th colony known as Earth. Or as they said in Stainless Steel Rat. Oh, it's some planet called Earth or Dirt or something. Anyway, the original Glenn A. Larson created series, produced by Universal and starring Richard Hatch, Dirk Benedict, and Lorne Greene as Commander Adama, ran on ABC for one season in 1978 and 1979. It was followed by a short-lived sequel, Galactica 80, which bloody terrible. It was awful. Apart from the last episode, The Return of Starbuck, but every other episode was big and awful. Sci-Fi Quest says, as a fan of the original, I'd hope his version would be closer to the original. You'd think there would be them saying, you know, as a fan of the original, but I bet it ain't. I bet it ain't. I bet it's bloody horrible. Anyway, it was followed by a short-lived sequel and several book and comic series, a board game and a video game as it gained cult status, if not commercial success. I always wanted, they did like a Battlestar Galactica toy, you know, like a, I don't know what they call it, like a Battlestar Galactica toy, and it had little miniature Vipers, you know, that you could put in the launch bay and stuff, and never got one. So I made one out of my Legos, but anyway. UCP, then known as Universal Cable Productions, produced Ron Moore's critically and commercially successful 2003 revamp, which started as a miniseries before becoming a series starring Edward James Olmos in Green's commander role, Mary McDonnell, Katie Sackhoff, and Grace Park, which ran for 4 seasons and spanned the short-lived prequel, Caprica, and I liked Caprica. Pardon me. Although the ending was a bit rushed, but, you know, at least they got an ending, I suppose. It was fine. I liked Caprica. And I liked the other one, Blood and Chrome. That was all right as well. That wasn't too bad either. But anyway, Simonds is the creator and executive producer of USA Network UCP's popular crime anthology series, which ran for 3 seasons. He's repped, blah, blah, blah. Talking about what they've done, don't care. So yeah, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I mean, Sam Esmail recently did that film on Netflix, didn't he? Which I've not seen. I forgot what it's called as well. But some people have said it's not very good, and some people have said it's amazing. So maybe he's one of these Marmite kind of filmmakers or creators that you either love him or you hate him. It's interesting they didn't mention John Colicos. Well, he was a supporting actor, I suppose, wasn't he? The main ones are Apollo, Starbuck, and Commander Adama, aren't they? Didn't mention Serena either, or Boomer, or Jolly, or the Imperious Leader. So there we go. That's it. I'm not building my hopes up, to be honest. We've been burned, haven't we? And you know the Ron Moore Battlestar Galactica were cool. I liked it. I didn't like that they made the Cylons look like people, but I suppose they needed that because, you know, to infiltrate, didn't they? So, but that just made them Terminators, didn't it, essentially? But never mind. Yes, John Colicos was Count Baltar, though. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And he had his head chopped off in the movie version, didn't he, of the Battlestar Galactica pilot? But they took it out of the series, didn't they? Because he came back. But yes. Anyway, so there we go. But as I said, the Ron D. Moore, you know, version, you know, well, critically acclaimed, and it was good. But we're in 2024 now. It was made in a different time, wasn't it? And I think now they'd have all the boxes to tick, wouldn't they? There's going to be race swaps and gender swaps, and there's going to be bloody, you know, transgender characters and all. Oh, there is, and Muffet's going to be a lesbian, and it's all going to happen. It's all that's going to happen in this series. I bet you anything. I bet you £2.50. That's what's going to happen. So anyway. But when it doesn't say when it's happening, does it? When is it coming? Does it say when it's coming? It didn't, did it? They're just in October. They were writing it, so maybe they'll start casting now. That anyway. Been a long time since I watched the original. I have to watch it again soon. I did Battlestar Galactica on Magnificent Mondays a while ago. I think, sure I did. Anyway, let's move on. Star Trek now. Again, it's not really news. It's more just an article. This one's from Looper. Kieran Fisher. Jonathan Frakes' true feelings about the controversial Star Trek Enterprise finale. And there he is. Turned out Enterprise was just a holodeck program, or at least that last episode was. Maybe it all was, for all we know. Star Trek Enterprise isn't regarded as the sci-fi franchise's finest hour. It is by me, it's my favourite, and I'm watching it again now. When I go to bed, I put Enterprise on and just watch a couple of episodes and then drift off into a lovely sleep. But because it's my comfort thing. A lot of people, TNG's their comfort watch, innit? For me, it's Star Trek Enterprise. I love that show. Anyway, and Jonathan Frakes doesn't have the most glowing opinion of the polarizing finale. These are the Voyagers, which it wasn't that good, but it's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. But it's not a great finale. Although the very last part where you see all the different Enterprises and these are the Voyagers, quote, that's nice. But the episode itself wasn't that great. The story. It was essentially a Next Generation episode, which this article is probably going to tell us. Right. While speaking to Variety, the actor said he agreed to do the episode for the fans after being sold on the idea that they wanted to see it. However, he wasn't happy about the show's farewell installment, ultimately becoming an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, and neither were many viewers. The fans didn't want to see us, Frakes said. Scott Bakula was such a mensch about it. No idea what that means. It's a Jewish thing, isn't it? But all these other Trek shows went 7 seasons. Nobody wanted to be on a Star Trek show that didn't get to go to 7, and it should have done. Shame they never used the refit in the final episode, but I guess it would have been a waste of money. Yep. I don't know, but that was the rumour. I wanted that for season 5, we were going to see the refit NX-01, and Shran were going to become a permanent character, a member of the crew, wasn't he? That was the rumour that were going around. But we did get to see the refit NX-01 in Picard season 3, didn't we? Albeit in the distance. Anyway. And the inherent insult in having characters from another series that had done well come in to essentially close the books on his episode, it just felt so wrong to me. The experience wasn't entirely bad, though. Frakes also claimed he and his colleagues had fun making the finale, even though the episode didn't turn out as well as he perhaps hoped. Yeah, they bloody killed Trip, didn't they? Hashtag justice for Trip. Oh, just read that. Never mind. Oh, pardon me, burping. Booze. I forgot what I want now. Sadly, this negative opinion of the Star Trek Enterprise finale is shared by some viewers as well, who've made their opinions known in some Reddit forums. And there he is. Oh, he's in a Mako uniform there. I didn't like the Mako design. It looks like the seagulls have crapped all over him, doesn't it? But anyway. While speaking at a convention via TrekMovie.com, writer Brannon Braga revealed that the Star Trek Enterprise finale was envisioned as a lost episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, but its connection to that beloved series arguably did more harm than good. While many trekkers undoubtedly enjoyed seeing familiar faces on the screen again, some have echoed Jonathan Frakes' criticism about the reunion feeling wrong. Some viewers. Oh dear. Redditor Gigawatt. What the hell's a gigawatt? Noted that the creative decision makes Enterprise feel lesser than the Next Generation, defeating the purpose of the entire series, turning an Enterprise episode into a sub-episode within the TNG story, because it was set during the time of the TNG episode, The Pegasus, which I can't remember. That's season 6 or 7. I can't remember. But it was that one where they found the USS Pegasus, which were a starship that had a phased cloaking device. I forgot what I want now. Sub-episode within a TNG story really puts the Enterprise story into something of a subservient role, they wrote. We sat through 4 seasons of Enterprise, and then we get a finale that's only really a holodeck recreation within a TNG episode. So yes, Trip's still alive. He didn't really die, because that was just a holodeck trip. Elsewhere, Eagle Ear said that the idea had potential, but the botched execution let it down. Furthermore, they're ready to believe that the results are insulting to the viewers who stuck by the show for 4 seasons. Of course, the finale does have its defenders, ready to Madrazo or Madrazo Jr., don't know, conceded that it isn't a perfect episode, but the creators deserve praise for being bold and experimental. No finale is perfect, but at least they tried something different. I give them credit for it. It's not as bad as they make out. It's not great, though. It's not a proper finale, really. But you know, it's not as bad as they make out to be. It's all right. But as they said, it's a TNG episode, isn't it? That's what it is. It's a TNG holodeck episode where he's playing a younger version of himself. Not really convincingly, but anyway. A cloaking device, but that's against the Kittimer Accords. Yes, it was, which is why Admiral, I can't remember his name, and that used to be Riker's captain. I can never remember his name. I think he ended up getting arrested at the end or whatever, didn't he? Or whatever, because it was his project, wasn't it? I don't know if it's against the Kittimer Accords. It's against the Treaty of Algeron. That's what it's against, where the Federation signed a treaty that they'd never use cloaking devices. The Treaty of Algeron. Anyway, there we go. Right, what's next? What's next? He asks. We're getting there. We're getting there. Sharks on a plane. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Come on, there we go. It's from Giant Freaking Robot. Jason Collins, Sharks on the Plane is now a real thriller with a Star Trek icon starring. That's why I noticed it. Star Trek icon, and I thought, I bet it's William Shatner. It's not, because I had to look. The opening episode of Airport 24/7 Miami, a behind-the-scenes series on one of the world's busiest airports, features a shark shipment loading into the plane and all the fear that comes with it. That's right, Treaty of Algeron, my mistake. Yeah. It's an easy mistake to make. Everybody goes on about the Kittimer Accords, about everything, don't they? But that was with the Klingons, wasn't it? And the Treaty of Algeron was with the Romulans. Anyway, I forgot what I want now. But MIA, as in Miami International Airport, isn't the only airport that transported sharks. In fact, it's a very common practice. At the end of the day, cargo is cargo. We long wondered how it is that Hollywood never jumped at the story over the years, considering that we had a whole series of Sharknado movies. Well, that's about to change in a new disaster movie / survival horror combo titled No Way Up. Jason Statham's The Meg, which neither of them are great films, to be completely honest, really put the killer shark horror back on the map, with many now jumping at the opportunity to make a movie that pits frail humans against one of nature's most ruthless predators. But on a plane. I'm sure it'll make sense. Shark Shipment sounds like a bad movie about giant snake transported on a plane that crashes and then goes around eating people. I mean, a giant shark. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't know. We will see. What does it say? No Way Up, scheduled for release in February 2024, can be characterized as one such release. It draws its inspiration from the themes of the Poseidon Adventure, the less stellar 2005 version, and basically every killer shark B movie ever made and combines them into a single movie, because you can only have so many movies about the killer sharks alone. I bet the plane crashes in the sea. I bet it does. It'd be like that airport, whichever one, Airport 77, where the plane crashed into the sea. I don't know, but yes, they should have him in it, shouldn't they? Samuel L. Jackson. Anyway, No Way Up's official synopsis declared the movie as a high-concept combination of disaster movies with survival thrillers with characters from different backgrounds and thus abilities thrown together when the plane they are travelling on crashes into the Pacific Ocean. See, there's a trailer, isn't there? Let's watch the trailer, sod it.
Guys, this trip is going to be a blast.
Huh? Who says chicks don't know how to travel like?
Brandon?
Spoke too soon.
We're going to a resort in Cabo.
What does he think you need a bodyguard for?
Every situation has the potential for violence. Here, it's virtually zero. Ava, where you going?
They said I could sit at the back. It's not a busy flight.
Wow. Babysitter, it's finally landed, bro.
Friendly mother.
Don't worry, we're gonna be just. We have to get out of here.
We're in an airlock. We're safe for now, but we will need oxygen.
There was a man who had an oxygen tank.
Where are you going? To get that tank.
How long do you think we have?
3, maybe 4 hours.
Massive destruction holds up.
Look, they come to save us!
Hey, we're over here!
We're gonna have to find our way out.
What's a shark doing on a plane?
Ava! I'm sorry, kid. You're gonna have to do this one on your own.
You know what? That don't look that bad, to be honest. But anyway, Sci-Fi Quest says, "See, women, if men weren't strong, we'd never push your luggage around." That's all we're good for. That looks a lot like the plane scene from the Grey movie, the Liam Neeson. I've never seen that. Never seen that one. But like I say, it's inspired in it. Yes, it's O'Brien from Deep Space. So the clue as to who the Star Trek icon is. It's not William Shatner. It's Colin Meaney who played O'Brien, and I forgot his name. He was in Stargate Atlantis as well, wasn't he? Playing a baddie. But yeah, it looks all right. It looks all right to me. But like I say, it don't look entirely original. It's borrowing from, lots of other stuff. I bet Colin Meaney, I bet he's either the designer of the plane or he was an engineer on the plane for donkey's years, so he knows it inside out and all that. I bet that's what's going on there. You see, it's a good movie. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get round to it. I know it's about a wolf in it. But anyway. Right. Pacific Ocean. From what we've managed to discern from the trailer, it would seem that the plane crashes and traps a group of survivors inside an air pocket that formed in a largely undamaged part of the craft, which you've just seen. This immediately implies several things. The air supply is limited. By the way, just make sure we're still going. Hey, did it? Yep. There was no messages on, no chats on Rumble, no. Any chats on Twitch? Not Twitch. We're talking about Twitch. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. No, because no buggers watching it. Anyway, a pack of wolves. Oh, I see. I've not seen it. See, why is it just called the Grey then? It should be called the Greys. Then people would think about aliens, wouldn't they? Anyway. This immediately implies several things. The air supply is limited, so everyone has to remain calm to avoid spending too much oxygen. That's really difficult to do, when you've got a cast of screaming teenagers, probably. That's really difficult to do when all the death, blood, and gore surrounding the survivors attracts killer sharks who quickly develop a taste for human flesh. No Way Up is in no way packed with A-listers and franchise Viagras, whatever that means. But the cast features some truly talented faces, such as Colin Meaney of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Star Trek The Next Generation, don't forget, who seems to be both the brains and the brawns among the survivors. We can't guarantee that, though. It probably dies in the first 5 minutes. Probably dies about 5 minutes after the crash. They'll get eaten by a shark. What we do know is that Colin Meaney was brought in as a replacement for Kelsey Grammer, who left the project due to scheduling conflicts with the new Frasier series. Maybe it does last a bit longer then. Other names attached to No Way Up are the director Claudio Farr of Northmen, A Viking Saga, and Sniper Ultimate Kill, and writer Andy Mason, I've never heard of him, who worked as a producer on Daniel Radcliffe's Guns Akimbo. You know, the ridiculous movie that resulted in an internet meme of Harry Potter star in a bathrobe and slippers wielding 2 guns bolted to his hands. I've never seen that. I've never even seen that meme. No Way Up is one of the few releases that continued its principal photography despite the SAG-AFTRA Film Actors Guild strikes. And the movie is expected to drop on February 20th, 2024, at least according to IMDb. Whether or not the release date is factual remains to be seen. Did it say in the trailer? By the way, how far up's Colin Meaney on this? Just is an and Colin Meaney. Sophie McIntosh, Will Attenborough, Jeremiah Amour, Manuel Pacific, Grace Nettle, with Phyllis Logan and Colin Meaney. I've only heard of Colin Meaney out of all them. Only heard of Colin Meaney out of those. Directed by Claudio Farr. Anyway, does it say? Let's have a look a bit further. No, doesn't say when it's coming out, does it? We will see. We will see. It looks all right to me. Looks all right to me. But they can make a trailer. They can make a bad film look great in a trailer, can't they? So anyway, that's a film to look forward to. Sharks on the plane. I thought they meant, because the article at the beginning, they were on about, loading sharks onto a plane. And I thought the plane were going to be flying, and then the sharks something had happened to the thing that the sharks were in, and it had flooded the plane, and the sharks would be swimming about the plane. But it looks like the sharks are in the sea, coming through the holes in the plane. Anyway, it's kind of going to be a bit like that film Bait, isn't it? Which were about sharks in a supermarket, wasn't it, after an earthquake? Which is a decent film. It is good. Leave my boy alone. Anyway, let's move on. Paul Verhoeven is back and he's kicking ass, maybe. Don't know. It's from IndieWire, Christian Zilko. Cool name. Paul Verhoeven wouldn't hesitate to make another sci-fi blockbuster if he found a script like RoboCop. The 85-year-old director is hoping to shoot a political thriller titled Young Sinner later this year, but he hasn't ruled out a return to genre filmmaking, and there he is. In the 1980s and 90s, Paul Verhoeven became synonymous with high-profile science fiction films that combined cutting social satire with Hollywood spectacle. From his cyborg police saga RoboCop to his Arnold Schwarzenegger-led Philip K. Dick adaptation, Total Recall, to his misunderstood fascism satire Starship Troopers, which we did a couple of weeks ago on Magnificent Mondays. The Dutch filmmaker made many of the genre's most recognisable classics, but in the 21st century, Verhoeven has largely steered clear of genre fare. The director has primarily worked in Europe, helming unclassifiable thrillers such as 2016's Elle and 2021's Benedetta. That rings a bell. I'm sure my son's bought that on Amazon. Could be wrong, though. I've not watched it. Come on, you apes, you want to live forever? Yeah. With Casper Van Dien. In charge of a squad. There's no Michael Ironside, is there? Anyway. I forgot what I want. 2021's Benedetta, that are more grounded in reality than his past works. Though anyone who has seen them can attest that the Basic Instinct director's fascination with depicting sex on screen clearly has not faded. He's European. They're all into it over there on the continent. But as the 85-year-old director prepares to shoot his next project, he revealed that he hasn't entirely said goodbye to genre films. In a new excuse me, in a new interview published in Metrograph.com, Metrograph, is that a newspaper from the mid-19th century? Bringing you the latest news within days. Paul Verhoeven revealed that he would be open to returning to sci-fi filmmaking if he found a script that was as substantive as his previous works. If someone I can't speak, I'm boozing too much. If someone were to give me a script like RoboCop or Total Recall, I wouldn't hesitate to do that, Verhoeven said. I can't do an impression of him because he's all like kind of hysterical in a Dutch accent, isn't he? Verhoeven said, adding that if such a script exists, I haven't seen it. While he hasn't found a sci-fi project that piqued his interest, Verhoeven will be getting lots now, won't he, after saying that? They'll be flying in. While he hasn't found a sci-fi project that piqued his interest, Verhoeven has plenty to keep him busy. He's currently preparing to shoot a political thriller called Young Sinner, which would mark his fist. His first American film. Let's see. Proofreading, thing of the past. His first American film since he released Hollow Man in 2000. I keep forgetting Paul Verhoeven did Hollow Man, and that's a good film as well. Verhoeven said that the film, which sees him re-teaming with RoboCop writer Ed Neumeyer, could be ready to enter production as early as this year. Ooh, well, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? I'm working with Ed Neumeyer, who wrote RoboCop. You could say it's a political thriller if you want. I think he wrote Starship Troopers as well, didn't he? Sure he did. If you want, situated in Washington, he said of the project. The last couple of years I've been working in France because I couldn't find something interesting here at that time. But Ed came up with a really interesting proposal. For 2 years we've been working on the screenplay. It should be done in 2 months, and then we can find out if someone can finance it. Oh, so they haven't finished the screenplay yet, and now they want money to make the film. So it's not a done deal. So hopefully he gets it done. It sounds interesting. Make another sci-fi film that's super violent. That's what we want, don't we? A super violent, satirical sci-fi film. Like Starship Troopers or RoboCop or Total Recall. That's what we want. With squibs going off galore. That's what we're after. That's what we want. Anyway, so there we go. Good luck to him. Good luck. I like Paul Verhoeven. Everybody likes Paul Verhoeven. Right, what's next? Last story. Speaking of RoboCop, gaming news, because I'm something of a gamer myself. Not really. Gaming news, RoboCop versus Predator, now available for free, says Chris Snellgrove of Giant Freaking Robot. Recently, RoboCop Rogue City has been reminding fans of just how cool it is to take control of everyone's favourite top cop turned bot cop as he cleans up the streets. My son's got RoboCop Rogue City, and I don't know if he's played it. I don't think he has, because it's on his PS5, and he started. It's the first time he's used his PS5 properly today. But he didn't play RoboCop Rogue City. He played Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. But anyway, of course, this made fans nostalgic for some of the vintage Dark Horse comics that would put RoboCop against some particularly over-the-top enemies, including the Terminator. RoboCop versus the Terminator was such a cool idea that it spawned its own video game. And here's great news for fans of the franchise. Even though we never got the planned RoboCop versus Predator comic series, this concept is now a fan-made video game you can play for free. RoboCop vs. Predator was created by game developer Oscar Celestini, and you can download the game from its official website. Link. The gameplay involves side-scrolling action, and players will quickly discover that the nostalgia factor is cranked to 11. These go to 11. That's because this creative game takes many of its gameplay and design cues from the Game Boy version of the classic action title, RoboCop vs. the Terminator. That says RoboCop versus Predator gameplays, but they've obviously not got rid of the Terminator iconography. Anyway, If you want to really maximize your nostalgia, the game offers different screen filters for you to choose from. While the colors vary slightly, one thing that all these video filters have in common is that they make it appear as if you are playing on an old school CRT television set, as in cathode ray tube, not critical race theory. That means you can give RoboCop vs. Predator the scan lines from your childhood and take it from a retro gamer. The scan lines help instantly transport you to your childhood, even as they make the pixelated graphics look that much better. Sci-Fi Quest says, Jennifer Salkett has been told to start making movies from the MGM IP by the Amazon executives now. So news for Stargate, RoboCop and Legally Blonde 3 should be announced soon. We'll see. We will see. It's all rumours, isn't it? See what happens. That's all we can do. What is RoboCop vs. Predator actually about, though? Beyond the simple premise of pitting two 80s icons against each other, the game's story, written by Simone Granata, tells the tale of our titular police officer fighting threats from the future so severe that he'll need the help of some serious allies. In addition to the engaging story and captivating gameplay, we loved the score from Gianluca Pappalardo, one bleep and bloop at a time. He's proving that chiptune is a powerful musical art form in its own right. Oh, look, there's Ed 209 there. Look. Those who don't have a lot of free time to play video games, may be relieved to know that RoboCop vs. Predator has the short but sweet level design of your favourite 80s and 90s titles. There are exactly 5 zones of story-driven gameplay, and each zone is split into 2 acts. Yes, it's Ed 209. Yes, bless him. Players can access a bonus shooting stage and go for a high score like in the old days. But don't worry, the game also has modern quality of life features, such as an autosave, meaning you won't have to play from the beginning of the level when the bosses give you trouble. You now have 10 seconds to comply. Cool scene. We had a blast playing RoboCop vs. Predator, and after we were done, we couldn't help but wonder if Oscar Celestini might try his hand at making some spin-offs. We'd love for the designer to make a spin-off where RoboCop fights the zombies from Dawn of the Dead, and we'd especially love to see him create his own sequel to the original game where RoboCop first slugged it out with the Terminator. At any rate, we're very happy with what we have, and it's hard to believe RoboCop vs. Predator is completely free. Legal issues aside, we have to say that we'd buy that game for $1. Let me click on the official website. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it. Oh, there we go. Come on. There we go. 4 filters. And there's a video there, isn't there? All right, let's click on that. Can we make that full screen? No, it won't let us. So there you go. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I'd be rubbish at that. I might download it just to see what happens. There we go. Download there. There we go. Click on that, see what happens. Oh, here we go. Download started. Oh, okay, fair enough. Is it done it? I don't know, because I've gone full screen, so I don't know. I'll give it a go later. Terminator vs. Predator was a good comic, so why no game? Don't know. Anyway, so there we go. So you can play that. Follow that. Follow the link that's in the article. Right, that's it. We're done. Now that I've got rid of that, I can see if it is actually downloaded. Is it? It has done. Look. Right, just bear with me then. Let's have a look. Show in folder. Right, here we go. No, it's Windows protected your PC. It'll probably be fine, won't it? It'll probably be fine. But running this app might put your PC at risk. Right, I won't risk it. But it's probably going to be fine. It's just one of those daft messages. Anyway, never mind. It's probably not compatible with Windows 11. See if anybody says anything in the comments. No, everybody seems to think it's fine, so I'll have a go of it later. Right. Done so soon. Yes, not many stories today compared to what we've had. Anyway, any road up. Right, we'll leave it there. Leave it there. I've got to sort some supper out for me and that lad. I might order something. We're supposed to be going healthy, but I'm hungry. And I want something bad for me. I'll see what he says. I will suggest it. Anyway, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Sci-Fi Quest, for keeping me company as I read out the news. Where's everybody else been? Don't know. Must be busy doing stuff. It's Sunday after all. I've put both my bins out. It's bin day tomorrow. It's bin day tomorrow. And I put both my bins out. It's supposed to be green bin day, recycle bin. But I'm risking it. I'm putting both bins out because they're both full because it's Christmas, I put both out. Because I've heard, rumour is, the urban legend is, if you put both your bins out after Christmas, they'll empty them both. We'll see. I bet they don't. Anyway, that's my life. That's how exciting my life is. No council of Joshes or harpoons tonight. Must have fallen out with me. Oh, they're just busy. There's probably some football on. Probably American football. They're all cheering. They'll all be there together in the same room with beers and stuff, shouting at the TVs and going, "Yeah!" Whatever you do at American football, because it baffles me. I've tried watching it, and it's baffling. Play for like 30 seconds, then it all stops, and then the adverts come on, and then it comes back, and then they just kick the ball, and then the adverts come on again. American football is baffling. Right, we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the